Hi everybody, it's Jackie and I'm here to do my labor and delivery story. Um, I'm sorry it took so long, but as you can imagine, um, life with a newborn is very busy, so I haven't had much time for videos. And right now he's sleeping, so I figured I should go ahead and at least attempt to do it. Um, okay, so as a preface, um, this labor and delivery story, I won't be able to tell you guys the exact times everything happened because I don't remember there being a clock in my room for one. And I was so out of it that I just don't remember the time. So I'm going to tell you as much as I can, as much as I remember. And hopefully you can get a good picture from that. Um, so um, I had been, let's see, Wednesday, which would have been, let me check the date. Um, Wednesday, January 4th, at night. I can't remember what time at night. I was asleep and I woke up having contractions. They were strong enough to wake me up out of my sleep. So I woke Travis up after I had had a good amount of them, and I was like, I'm having contractions. At the time, they were about, excuse me, 8 minutes apart. 8 minutes apart. So um, I called the doctor, the on-call doctor, and she called me back and she was like, "This is your first baby. Just stay there until they're about 3 or 4 minutes apart. 3 or 4 minutes apart, I think she said. No, 4 or 5 minutes apart." And she said, "If that happens, then call me and come back, and then you can come to the hospital." So I laid there. I kept having contractions. Then they got every 3 to 4 minutes. They were coming, and they hurt. They were very uncomfortable, and I definitely couldn't go back to sleep. So I called her back. I said the contractions are 3 or 4 minutes apart. And she said, "Okay, go ahead and come in to labor and delivery." So I went over to labor and delivery to get checked out. The nurse confirmed that my contractions were 3 to 4 minutes apart, but I was only half a centimeter dilated or fingertip dilated or whatever. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, are they serious? So she was like, "You're in early labor." And she was like, "You can walk around the hospital for a couple hours, or you can go home and just have early labor at home." And she was like, she doubts if I walk around the hospital for a couple hours that I will have much cervical change. So I said, I'll go home. Like, there's no point in me walking if I'm not going to get admitted after I'm walking. Um, so I came home. So I had contractions. Um, excuse me, this is Travis. He's at work. He's trying to check on TJ to see how he's doing. Anyway, so I had contractions. That was Wednesday. Thursday, I had contractions again all day. They never stopped. So, I can't remember if I went. Yeah, I went to the hospital Thursday. Thursday night, I believe. Because Wednesday it was like 4 o'clock in the morning when we went to the hospital. So that was really Thursday. And then Thursday night, I ended back up there. I was 1 centimeter dilated, but I was still in early labor. So um, they decided to give me Ambien to get me to sleep because I couldn't sleep with those contractions. So again, I went home in early labor Thursday. So by the time we got home, um, I believe I can't remember what time it was when we got home. But anyway, I took the Ambien, got some sleep. Friday, I called my doctor's office and told them what was going on. Um, and they said to come in. My nurse said that she was like, "You can come in. The doctor's not here, but we'll set you up with one of the nurse practitioners, and she can check your cervix for you." Because I said I didn't want to keep going back to the hospital and get sent home. That was not going to happen. So I went to my doctor's office, and I had a nurse practitioner. and she tried to check my cervix, but apparently her fingers were too short and my cervix was up really high, and she could not check it. And her attempt to check it was very painful for her to keep trying to reach it, and she couldn't. Whatever. What she did figure out was that he was really, really low. I can't remember if he was at a 2 station or what he was, but he was really low. So she was like, because he's really low, I predict he will be here either tonight or tomorrow or within the next couple of days. So I got sent home. I got sent back home after the doctor's appointment. So this is Friday. So my mom came up Friday night because I told her that the baby was probably gonna come that weekend. So she came up that night so she could help around the house and get stuff ready and whatever. So my mom kept telling me to walk. She was like, just walk. So it's cold outside where I am. So the only thing I could do was either go to our exercise room or walk the hallways because we have really long hallways. So me and Travis will walk the hallways. I still have contractions. My contractions never stop during these days. They would get longer apart. Like they would be 10 minutes apart. They'd be 8 minutes apart. I want to say that they were the same amount of pain, but they would gradually get a little bit worse, but not too bad. So Saturday, I went to Walmart with my mom to get some food and some stuff for the house, just in case I had the baby and wouldn't be able to go out. So I walked around Walmart. I was okay. Had some contractions in Walmart, but I was okay. After Walmart, I came home and did some more walking, ate dinner. Travis and I went to the exercise room that I have in my apartment building, and I walked on a treadmill for, I want to say, 40 minutes. I did 20 minutes, I took a break, and then I did 20 more minutes. My contractions definitely picked up while I was on the treadmill. I was looking at every 3 to 4 minutes, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, but they definitely were getting worse. So we made the decision not to go to the hospital that night because we weren't going to get sent home. So this is Saturday night. So I want to say most everybody laid down about 10:30. I laid down and I had some more contractions. Now, this is when my contractions started to get worse. I couldn't remember how far apart they were at the time, but they definitely were worse. So I went. My mom was in my room in my bed, so Travis was in the living room sleeping. And I went in the back with my mom because I didn't want to wake Travis back up because, we had been to the hospital back and forth and he hadn't been getting any sleep. So I went there with my mom and I said, Mom, it's hurt. It hurts really bad. And my mom told me to get in the bed with her and lay down with her. So I lay down with her and it might have been, it was a couple hours and I had these bad contractions. Checking on my baby while he sleep. Couple hours and my mom said, call the nurse. And I called the nurse, which happened to be the same nurse that I had saw the night that I got sent home. And she said, well, Jackie, give it about an hour. And if they're still that painful, and they get any closer together, then if you think you should come after that hour, then just come on and go ahead, come in. So I said, okay. So more and more contractions, blah, blah, blah. At about 6:45 that morning, which would have been Sunday morning, I was laying in the bed with my mom, still having these contractions, and I felt some liquid, like it felt like my water broke, but it wasn't like a gush of fluid of water. It just felt like my water broke to me because I was like, I know I'm not peeing on myself. So I went to the bathroom, and the water had gone through I think I had on jogging pants. So I checked the water, and it was not clear. It actually was yellow. So I'm like, I know this not pee, but for it to have come out like that, it has to be my water. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, I think my water broke. And my mom said, okay, you know what, just go. Because I called the nurse back and I said, the contractions are still coming. I think my water broke. I'm coming. So she said, well, come on. So we got dressed, got Travis awake, got to the hospital. I put on a pad before I left because they said that they can check the pad when you get to the hospital to make sure it's your water. So I got that. I went to the hospital. Once I got there, they were about to hook me up to the monitors, and I had to change clothes to get into the gown. And I showed her the pad, and right when I showed the nurse the pad, she was like, "Yes, your water did break." And I was like, "Wow, like, how do you know?" And she's like, "It's yellow because TJ boo-booed or had a bowel movement inside of me, so that was meconium in my water." So I'm relieved because I'm like, if my water break, they have no choice but to keep me now. So I'm like, yes, I get to stay at the hospital and have a baby today. So they hooked me up to the monitors, check out the baby's heartbeat and my contractions. I can't remember what was happening. All I could think was I kept having contractions and they were hurting. I was just laying there. And then they were like, okay, we're going to get you moved down to a room and blah, blah. And in my head, I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. From what I can remember, I think I was admitted, like finally officially admitted into labor and delivery at 7:45 that morning. I think. And I could be wrong. And Travis will probably be a better person to tell you the time, but that's what I think. Okay, so they were asking me what kind of medicine I wanted for the pain for my contractions. Excuse me. So, I'm gonna probably cut this video short and make another video to continue this so that it doesn't get cut off. So, I'll see you guys in part 2.